Yeah.
Yeah, I have started the recording. So, just to brief you, everyone, guys. So, this is going to be the first session. We are going to start from the beginning. That is going to be the sourcing part of it. Okay. So, there are a couple of new participants, and tomorrow we'll be having the consecutive session going forward. Yeah. So, if at all you are having any queries in between, guys, you can ask. Okay. Whenever Radhesham is asking you to ask for the queries, you can open up your mic and you can ask the things. And this session is also being recorded, so everything is going to go well. Thank you, Radhesham. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Raj. Hi team. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Hello. One second. Huh?
Yes, sir. You are
Yes, it is.
audible.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. S- Hi guys. Actually, sorry for the delay. Uh, okay. Last time we might be you are not there in this call, but today again we are going to discuss what is the Ariba and how we are getting benefits from the Ariba and what are those modules which Ariba will provide us and which module we are covering here. So almost all the modules we are covering, but we are starting from basic. What how it started, what is Ariba exactly, what are those modules, and we are discussing entire end-to-end integration scenario for this. So along with me, my colleague Akshay is here for contracts and P2P side catalog management, and I am covering upstream module. So we will discuss what are those upstream model and what are those downstream module, and what these module will value added for your portfolio or your career, so that we will discuss. And it your mic is open, you any point of view, any point that you can ask me a question. If you have any basic doubt, you want to you want any understanding on that, or you want to clarify something, you can ask anytime. There is nothing to hide here. This is open discussion, and we are going to clear your any issue or any point. So basically, guys, Ariba has now SAP has acquired this company in 2012 actually. Before that, it is itself a Ariba separate company. Now after 2012, SAP has been acquired that organization. And nowadays Ariba is the biggest platform for any supply chain things. You know that overall Ariba has all upstream and downstream model, where your end-to-end solution has been covered, like from PR, not only from PR, but your quality collaboration, your forecast collaboration, everything has been covered nowadays with the supply chain collaboration. We are going to discuss that. But Ariba has worked on one single platform that is called Ariba Network. So that is a backbone for that. What in each and every module we have Ariba Network interference, that is called supplier network, and one is for the buyer network. So how it will helpful to us to configure, how CIG will be middleware will be there. We are all everything we are going to cover here. So currently Ariba is worldwide using. There is other tool for procurement, but Ariba is one of the best solution for end user point of view. Easy configuration, ability with the other non-SAP ERP. There is less opportunity to configure these things. But for SAP, it is anything we can configure, but it's up to that framework only. So if you see, so a lot of things, not only SAP Ariba, along with that field glass, anyone from the HR, they have success factor and all these things. S4 HANA is already there now. uh, uh, and along with that, Concur is also one of the module of SAP field glass. We are covering only SAP Ariba. We are more mostly focusing on, but all these other tools also has been configured on Ariba's network. There is a lot of things in background we can configure for that. Along with the some customization, there is API, some pre-configured pre-configured tools also there. So we will discuss later on. So I think this business we cannot discuss because this is already SAP. Now there is more than 5 million now, can we can say nowadays it is almost client worldwide. See, Ariba, now you can focus on this point and we will discuss here. uh, I hope if you have any doubt you can ask me here only, because we are mostly focusing on this slide, and later on we are directly jumping to other Excel sheet, so where I can explain you better. If you see here, it is in blue. It is all these are like Ariba sourcing, Ariba supply chain, supply life cycle performance, Ariba supply risk, Ariba contract management, SAP, Ariba spend analysis. So these are upstream model. What it means? So it is starting from the sourcing. What it sourcing? Any material or any service. Whenever any organization want to buy or they want to procure something, so they have to start their process from the sourcing. So sourcing nothing but your requirement. What is your requirement for any organization? So they starting from the PR. So so they will send you PR, so that I have this material or this service requirement, so so and so specification, and along with the suppliers, few of suppliers if you have, so you can utilize that for the quotation collection. So you will float the RFPs in traditional way, then on email and all these things, and then you will collect those email and you can compare those things, and then you will go for the negotiation, and then you finalize the price or something based on the a lot of factors are there, not only the pricing. Along with the pricing there is a delivery date, quality of material, supplier reliability, then your other things for charges and any hidden charges, after sales and service, quality of material, technical things also involved there. Then you will finalize the order. So all this activity will be covered under the sourcing. So that is actually a sourcing part, starting from your PR, starting from your material or service request, it will come to the finalizing of your order. So that is called S2O, source to order cycle. So in this cycle we will evaluate the specification. For that we will identify the suppliers. For that we will identify, we will new supplier outreach also will be there. If there is a new commodity or any category, so for that reason we will outreaching some suppliers. So there is Ariba discovery for there is a tool, a separate tool for this, so you will get the access for Ariba discovery. You can also go and check Ariba discovery on Google, and you can search as a supplier or as a buyer. You can register yourself, you can different, you can identify the difference for that. So that tool is for the worldwide suppliers will be registered already on Ariba. You can go and check their profile. You will understand what commodity they are sending, from which region they are came from, what are their core business. So everything will be there. You can there is a ratings for that supply. So there is a tool for outreach your suppliers also. You can also register your own suppliers. In sourcing there is a option also to register your suppliers, as well as there is a one more separate module for that, that is called Ariba's supplier lifecycle and performance. So there is advanced features in that. So not only the supplier registration, request registration, along with that you can qualify that supplier, you can judge their performance for entire 1 year. Your internal team will be score that, and you can judge their performance. So all this activity, and then you will come to know whether that supplier is under risk or not. So for that again we have different module, that is called supplier risk management. Not only on the other all the factors the company, there is KPI, a lot of KPIs will be used for the performance and other quality, as well as for the risk. So based on that then the module will be involved. But basically how our journey will be start, it is basing from a very simple step. There is a requirement. So what means it, there is a request. So from that request we are creating RFP, then we are floating uh, there is an integration scenario as well as the non-integrated scenario. If you are using integrated, so it means your Ariba system, Ariba Realm has been integrated with the backend system. So backend system might be your SAP ECC or S4, or there is a compatible ERPs like Oracle, so that you can integrate those things. So there is a CIG middleware, so that middleware you can use and you can configure your system. So there is a three different aspect of configuration of integration. So basically there is a lot of configuration in ERP level. There is a CIG level configuration, then Ariba network level configuration, and then your realm, in realm some data import export will be there. So if there is a system is configured, then your journey will be starting from PR, purchase request. So then it will, that PR has been converted into RFP, and that RFP has been RFQ has been sent to Ariba as a request for sourcing request. So that sourcing, from that sourcing request we will create a sourcing projects. So like RFP, we will float that inquiry within the suppliers, we will invite all the suppliers what we have, and we can also register our new suppliers within that event and also separately. So that feasibility is there, and then we will collect all the quotation. The comparison will be happen within the system, all suppliers how, what step they are, and we will monitor their all the transitions, like how they are submitting the code, whether they have logged in into system or not. We have teams, we will assign some team members their own tasks, so whether someone is creating events and other team members also monitoring that, some peoples are doing some approval purpose. So these all the activity we will happen in sourcing, and then we will compare, then we will take the approval. We take the approval from our business seniors, and then we will take a approval and we'll negotiate that. There is a lot of auction types so in sourcing. So that strategy we have to decide as a consultant. Going ahead, we have to decide what strategy we have to use for this particular material or service. So that is our job, our duty. So we will decide based on our expertise how which strategy is suitable here, which auction type is suitable here. So that is our job to tell them, or we will segregate which templates you can use, and you can get the benefits from that. That savings we have to tell them that you can achieve a better savings if you're using this kind of strategy. All those strategy which we have experience, we will telling you how to use that, along with the not only discussing these points, but along with that we are discussing the strategy for different materials. If you have any critical material in your mind, if you want to discuss that point, some monopoly material or some commoditized material, which auction type is better for that, that even for that there is a solution in Ariba. So a lot of different auction types, we will discuss that in our duration going ahead. Then coming to the contract part. So this sourcing model within after the sourcing, either you can create a PO or either you can create a contract. So that is a, there is a feasibility, you can decide whether you, so client has using either sourcing or either contracts or both module. Sometimes they're also using SLP, or then they're using commerce automation. So combination of 3 4 modules they are using. Sometimes they only use sourcing, SLP, commerce automation. Sometimes they only use sourcing. So that is a differentiate. Not all of module your client has been going to use, might they're using some different module like Ariba sourcing and directly commerce automation, they are not using SLP for that. Then how our supplier will be on board for that in that case? So that is a scenario. So we will discuss that also. So different scenario we are going to discuss here along with the module, and we will explain you each and every steps for that. Ariba contract management. So here our contract. So there is a some already some legacy contracts also be part of existing work frame. So that also we will collect and we will send it to the Ariba, and then we will utilize that legacy contract. Even new contract we will create from here. Not only for the services also, along with that contract we have different templates here. So based on our requirement we can create a contract template. There is a uh, clause library for that. We will create our default clauses into that. If you want to utilize that regular clause, select from the clause library. there is a team members, legal team will involve the signing, drafting, starting from the draft that document, then you are sending to suppliers to validate and sign off, then your internal team members also doing the signing for that. So entire things will be digital. Here you will get all the documents. You can create your documents on your desktop also, as well as on system directly. So that feasibilities nowadays we have in Ariba. So no need to go and draft your file on document file. You can directly create those clauses here in itself in Ariba. Or other you want to, if you are comfortable, then you can go and create a document separately, and then you can upload. Both way there is a we can create a contract for that. So commodities, it is defined. It's based on the whatever commodities you have. And supplier life cycle, it is I already explained, it is for the supplier registration. Spend analysis, most of the right now I have almost 10 years of experience plus in Ariba only, but other experience also. So if you see here, these Ariba spend analysis, most of the organization doing manually. Major organization, they are doing this spend analysis if their spend is more than like Fortune 500 organization, they are doing spend analysis every 6 months, 3 months, in which category, commodity, which region, by which buyer, or which department, how many spend they have utilized, what are their budget, and what currently we have in spend in hand. So all this activity they will track in using this spend analysis. It is helpful to understand which commodity or which material we are buying regularly, for which region. So spend analysis is important. But if you didn't get opportunity to work on this spend analysis, how you are doing, you are basically you are doing on Excel sheet. So even that you can do. If you are expert, you can download all the PO dumps, and you can filter it out by commodity, owner, department, purchase org, purchase group. Based on that, and you can sort out how many POs has been created. Every organization, before Ariba, whenever Ariba is pitching the Ariba module for any organization, new organization, they will do the spend analysis first. They ask that customer, what how many POs have created last time, what is your spend, which major suppliers, from which region, or everything they will ask before pitching any module to them. Because until and unless they will understand what is their spend, they will not figure out which module is suitable for that customer. And then only they will pitch that particular model based on their POs, invoicing, and their suppliers count, their like geographical things. And then only they will decide which module is for them. So these are the upstream module. All upstream module, Ariba sourcing, SLP, supplier risk, we don't have right now here. But spend analysis and these things, these are like we are not going to cover up, because this I don't think we have the access for that. But for SLP, Ariba sourcing, Ariba contract management, supply chain, we have commerce automation, we have Ariba buying and catalog management. All these things we have. So now we will decide which module you have to focus. Later on, we will discuss that. Now coming to the buying and invoicing and commerce automation. Commerce automation is nothing but like, after your order, till this sourcing, procure to order, once you done with your finalization of quotation, you decided I have to order this supplier to the particular supplier, your sourcing part will be complete. That is called source to order. If you have commerce automation, then your directly from that sourcing, you will going to send a quotation to your backend system. PO will be created, and it will automatically send to your supplier. If you have then any release strategy, then you have to complete that release strategy within your S4 only. If you don't have any release strategy, then you can definitely send, but most of the organization they are using. So your PO has been created here automatically from sourcing in your backend system. From then, your Ariba commerce automation will be starting. So commerce automation, why commerce automation? Why sourcing? Why that is important? See, every organization has some exchange of hurdles. Like they want to reduce their timing. Their supplier is not reverting them within the time frame. and then they have a lot of issues to create comparison sheets, lot of issue to take the approvals. So that is the solution here in Ariba sourcing, because your all the supplier has been on come under one roof. You are sending whatever documents to other suppliers, it will automatically sending to all suppliers within the time, and everyone will be accessing the same documents. No one like sometimes in mail you find out that our attachment has been missing for that, or some document already missed. So that is excluded from here. You can cover up all these things, and then that is a benefit for your client. Yourself also you will understand we are covering or we are inviting all the suppliers within that time frames, 5 days, 7 days, whatever the time frame. Your comparison sheet will be the visible for your management also, so no need to send them separately. You're taking the approval on system also. Your audit points will be clear there. No one asks you what questions like silly questions like that this comparison sheet is not proper or something like that. So you are sending them that is directly, that sheet is already ready with you, or they can access system directly.
Radhesham, Radhesham, sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt you here. Okay, there are some
Mm,
messages coming to me privately, like they can see the screen very small. So, guys, to make it your visibility, the screen which is been shared by Radhesham, you can make it bigger by clicking on the pop-out button at your right-hand side. You can see at the right-hand side bottom there is a small icon called pop-out. Okay, if you click on pop-out, you can take out this particular screen out of the box, and you can make it as a bigger screen so that you can see the things clearly. Okay, so if anyone are having any queries, you can connect to me. Yeah, so I hope it works, right? So at your right hand side bottom in the app, you can see pop out screen. So if you click on that, so your screen will be on the full, you can make it maximize. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you,
anyone
Radhesham, please carry on.
yeah, yeah. Anyone, any issue here? We are discussing on sourcing part and upstream.
Hi Rajesham, this is Hers. I
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
question. Thank you,
yeah, yeah.
Rajesham. So regarding the SAP Ariba Commerce Automation you were just discussing, and you
Hmm,
said
hmm.
it's you're not required basically in approach, not approach, my bad. What I'm trying to understand is, do we require any contract compliance when we are doing the commerce automation, or there's no contract? Sorry, the contract compliance is required in the commerce automation.
That commerce automation has different aspect, like contract compliances. It is covered under the contract management only. So if you are creating any contract from that, then it should be there. But if you are creating a PO from that contract, so it is sending a PO for that. See, commerce automation cover under the PO collaboration actually.
Okay,
And yes, so that is a PO collaboration actually. So whenever we are sending PO to supplier, then only your whatever the whatever it is mentioned in your PO, that will send to the supplier. Whether most of the organization what they are doing from contract also, they are creating a PO from order S2O, source to order, it is also they are creating a PO for service line item. That is a different thing only. Service service entry sheet for that reason. So we are discussing PO collaboration here. When we are talking about the commerce automation, that is a called a PO collaboration. But in buying an invoice and contract, we are sending separate contract compliance document, all these things. It is directly from the system only, because that clause
understood.
we are negotiating with the supplier. So that document we are sending from contract itself.
Understood. So Radhisab,
Yeah.
when submitting a PO using the commerce automation, so the terms
Mhm.
like payment net terms, like the payment terms or the shipping charges, are they already called out? So it has to be manually called out in the commerce automation, right? Not like how it is already called out in the contract. Correct?
Uh, Correct. Actually, what happening now?
Thank you.
Whenever you are creating, you are converting your contract into PO. Whatever payment terms you have decided, it will be freeze for that PO, because you are not going to manually changing anything. You are supposed to if you want to edit those things, you want to change the delivery date, you want to payment terms, payment method, everything that is editable. But it is based on your how the management decided that things. If you want to change something after the PO creation, then it's up to you. So there is a rules you have to set. Once you decide the payment method, payment terms, that never going to change. Once we are sending the PO, so whatever payment terms we have mentioned into that PO, it will reflecting to the supplier also be along with that PO. It is already mentioned there. So system will showing that your payment terms like this, your delivery date is that, your material specification you have to mention here. Along with that, you have to send a confirmation for that. Your advance ship notice needs to be sent. I'll explain you everything here once
Thank you,
we.
Rajesh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So in commerce automation, we have like PO automatically sent to the supplier. Supplier we do the confirmation for that, so he can also reject that. Why it is required? Why organization is because PO anyway we are sending through email. Then why commerce automation? Because commerce automation will track your all the transitions. Not only sending PO, it is resolving your issue. It is sending a PO along with some other features like once that PO reach to supplier, he needs to confirm that PO. So that earlier, how buyers will doing that, they are manually calling suppliers and they are asking them that whether you got the PO, please send me a confirmation or your email, or you can let me know if you want to change anything something. But here in this solution, you will get the benefit that supplier get the notification of the PO. He will confirm you PO. You can easily go and check in your PO history tab. There is a confirmation came from supplier that I have confirmed out of 100, I have confirmed 100 quantity. If he reject the PO, you will get the notification. If he select out of 100, he select only confirm the 50 quantity, you will get the notification for it. So the time being, the synchronization of that things will be very quickly. No need to call your suppliers. Might there is some miscommunication or some information has been shared, but here in this solution you will get the right real time data. You will get the confirmation from supplier. You understand that my PO has been confirmed. Now supplier doing his further steps like advance ship notice. What is it means? Advance ship notice nothing but when supplier has wants to dispatch that material to your location. Before that, he will intimating you that I am sending this material in so and so date with the so and so transporter, so and so pallet. I have packed this material in so and such a way that that all the details you are getting in advance. So that is a beauty of that advance ship notice. You will getting the advance ship notice. And see, lot of organization have struggling to maintain their warehouses. So when they are getting addition in advance notification, they will prepare for them that to my material has been receiving so and so date, so I have to prepare for that. So they will make it arrangement for that material. They will start engaging their team that material will be receiving on so and so date. You can prepare yourself. So once that ASN has been received to yours, along with that PO, sorry, for that PO, that automatically they will create the inbound delivery. And those who have already worked on, like, one second, guys, one second, just one second. Hello. Yes. So buyer will I get the notification for that. Their warehouse team will be ready for that. And then once that material receive at the factory location, they know which material is that. The already inbound delivery had been already generated. What it means inbound delivery, like whenever we are doing to receiving for that any particular material, we have to do the inbound delivery. First we have to create a inbound delivery for that, because it means say that I'm receiving some material in my warehouse. So based on that inbound delivery, you will get the idea about that the material has been shipped. We have sent the PO for 100 quantity. PO has been confirmed for 100 quantity, but only 50 quantity I got in first batch. So each and every things will be there, like your batch, when that batch has been created, what is the batch expiration date, what is the packaging for that batch, how they have packed. from which delivery partner we are getting that material. So everything will be there, and that then you will get the idea that I have to uh, do the GRN for goods receiving for this material based on the inbound delivery. So we'll go and check whether that material has been come under that package, then your delivery partner, and they will receive. Once you complete your GRN, means receiving goods receiving, system will sending a notification to supplier that I have received successfully 50 quantities out of 100. And then supplier also got idea about the that they got the clear means I have sent whatever the material we have sent that successfully received by them. Then they will create an invoice for that. Supplier will create their invoice for that 50 quantity out of 100 they have creating, because they only send the 50 quantities. So there is a transitions rules we have in Ariba network we can do. So that is a bias best part, what supplier will never create an invoice for 100 quantity, because why, we have just received 50 quantity. Whatever quantity we have received we are giving payment for that only. Supplier should create a invoice for that 50 quantity only. So there is a three-way match, two-way match, what concept we are discussing earlier in P2P. So that everything will be happen here automatically. No need to track that things, because system will throw the error for them within their system only. So that is a, again, you no need to go and change the if anyone has been worked on earlier P2P module, they know that is we have to change the these rules so manually. So for this two-way or three-way matching, so that things has been now reduced here. And Ariba catalog and Ariba buying is like, uh, guys, like we are creating manually all these things. PO has been created in these things. We have a lot of master data we have to upload. We will create a catalog, non-catalog items here. We will make a portfolio for their suppliers. So these things will under it. But in commerce automation, directly from the whatever we are sending from the ERP level. Then invoicing also the same way. Supplier will create the invoice, it will come to you, you have to review, and then you can confirm that invoice, that you have to approve that invoice. Then only supplier will create a payment, supplier you can do the payment for that supplier. So once you done the payment, it will send back to supplier this is your payment details. We have done the payment for your 50 quantity and so details, and so bank details we are sending, and on this date we have done the payment. So supplier also getting the payment details. So whatever earlier, there is a loopholes for all these transitions, like from sourcing. This is the call S2P, source to pay. So P2P is procure to pay. This is called sourcing, from sourcing to payment. That is called S2P, source to pay. Commerce automation, it is just a uh, order to pay. Means from order we are handling this. And P2P is nothing but procure to pay. Once you starting your PO creation and all this thing, payment will be invoicing this that is a different module. And buying and invoicing, catalog management also, you can like cart, or you are creating a cart, like you are doing a shopping on Amazon or like Flipkart. So same here, there is some pre-configured categories. You also create a categories for suppliers. Non-category items also you can add your suppliers. Most important things for any buying and invoice catalog management, like these modules based on your master data. Whatever master data you have configured, you have to, some files are auto files, you have to take it from ERP to Ariba. Some manual files you have to load, then you have to create a PO forms for that. So we will going to discuss in deep, because these modules are very interesting also. Nowadays you have very if you see somewhere, there is lot of openings also there for Ariba P2P. Some people's also involved in supply chain collaboration. This is the latest model which you are going to focus, because now future is supply chain collaboration. Commerce automation now considered as a DS and digital supply network. Supply chain collaboration, it is not just for the PO collaboration. So whatever transitions we discuss here in commerce automation, that part is just a single part of that this module, supply chain collaboration. Here we have quality collaboration, we have forecast collaboration. So quality collaboration after PO, or along with the PO things, PO collaboration things, we can do the quality discussion. But forecast is always before everything. Like you, lot of organization doing forecast for their next 2 years. So how they are doing, what are the benefits for forecasting, wh- what features they have in forecasting. So everything we are here, we have some actually we have some restriction for that. But I'll share you some documents on forecasting which is helpful to understand. I'll try my best to explain you from my side also, because until and unless you cannot see the supply chain collaboration full demo, because we have this restriction. No one, even Ariba will also will not providing the full entire access for this particular module. We have part of that PO collaboration we have, we will show you, and I'll try to explain you everything from my side, whatever I have experience in this. But guys, if you want to make a career into supply chain collaboration and you want to move further into Ariba, focus on this module, supply chain collaboration, along with this supplier life cycle, SLP. So all these modules like sourcing, contract, or buying, or catalog management, you decide whether you are comfortable to go for that, you want to focus on these or not. But I suggest you can focus on the supply chain collaboration, SLP, and commerce automation, DSN. Now can we can say DSN. So these three module, and then you can decide to choose anything. Don't go for entire things upstream and downstream. These are downstream model, these are upstream model. Lot of things you can here you can focus, here you can focus, it's up to you. So
But interviewer will ask both the
yeah,
upstream module and downstream module. Have you worked or not? How can we can say?
see what happen these days, whenever they will ask you for the entire downstream and upstream, so your concept should be same for upstream and downstream. But here we have a lot of master data. I think one of team right now, someone has been already worked on this supply Ariba buying and catalog management. They know how to create the PO things. Here we have template based approach. Here we have to lot of things we have to configure manually. Here you get the pre package, but lo- some parts you have to create. Actually this is the draft version, they have given you the some draft, you have to build up the system. Here also we have template approach. See, no one can do until and unless they know all the modules, all the features. But you have to focus on some modules. Why I'm telling you the supply SLP, supply chain collaboration, sourcing, and Ariba buying catalog. So if you worked on supply chain collaboration, most of the part you will focusing on this P2P also, means catalog management and
Yes.
guided buying also. Why? Because transitions are same: PO, invoice, payment, ASN, uh, confirmation, all these transitions are same. But there is a difference between their master data management. Here we don't have to maintain the master data, it is already there in your S4. But here we have to configure all these master data, all the commodities, all the PO things, rules, everything we have to configure here. But here that is already configured. Here only you have to, as a functional consult, you have to focus on your strategy. You have to focus how my system will be built up, what are the PO related activity, what are the PO related configuration I have to do. Then only that only configuration you have to do here. See, you can focus on your own module. I know there is a lot of interviews asked for upstream and downstream, but when you work actually there, they will ask you for the do for this sourcing, or go for the P2P only. After 2 3 years you will going to, means I don't think you will remember all these configuration for sourcing. So you can
Hi
focus
Rajesh.
anything. Yeah, yeah,
Hi Rajesh. I'm sorry. I
yeah.
have a question regarding SAP Ariba Commerce Automation. Sorry for stepping back, but I just have a quick question. So, do we? I know in SAP Ariba P2P right now there is no PO cancellation is transmitted via network. Is it same for the Ariba Commerce Automation, or PO cancellation
we
can be?
Yes, there is a feature from see PO confirmation itself. There is a PO confirmation, either partially confirmation or either fully cancellation of that PO.
I'm sorry, Radhis. So
Yeah,
cancellation by the buyer can be transmitted via network, or it cannot be transmitted via network. The cancellation by the
it
buyer.
by the buyer. If they, yes, if the cancellation has been from both side, from supplier side, supplier denied the PO, it will come from network and it will show in your PO that PO has been rejected by supplier. And cancellation also, like you are deleting PO, deletion flag also there, any line item level or PO level, all these things has been we can send to the supplier that PO has been cancelled or deleted.
Understood. Understood. And the
Yes.
second thing you called out is the three-way reconciliation, right? So I just want to confirm what are the factors for the three-way reconciliation, and what are the factors for the two-way reconciliation. I do remember that it's price items, but I forgot what was the third item.
See, so whatever like here in supply chain collaboration or commerce automation, it is from backend. It will all these things has been happening. No need to do the reconciliation related rules, but most of the time, like your price, your quantity, and your delivery date. So these three things
Okay.
has been compared for reconciliation, always price, quantity, and your delivery date. In transition rules we have these three factors where we can configure whether on which part we have to send a deviation. Like sometimes might be your delivery date has been changed due to X reason, or some supply is not able to send a material on that day. So he will ask for extension, give me some 10 days of extension. For that reason we have to release that rule, correct? Because that is the deviation of your delivery date. Again your price also a deviation factor, again your quantity also a deviation factor. Sometimes the supplier don't want to send up 50 quantity, they asking you for the 25 only, so there is a deviation. In price also some
Understood.
parts has been. Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Understood.
Anyone
No
else?
problem.
I think
Yes,
someone is
I have
asking
a question.
yeah.
Yeah. So, let's say if I'm trying to go for an interview with 8 years of experience or 9 years of experience, they
Mhm,
might have a requirement like they wanted to have a knowledge both on upstream and downstream, right? So, I
mhm,
mean, as you said, like once we deploy into the project, we may not know like whether we are going to deploy in downstream or upstream project. So we are not going to
mhm.
work on all the modules, but we are going to
Correct.
work on only few modules, right? So for an interview purpose, to deploy into the projects, we must be having a knowledge on both downstream and upstream, right?
First, let me ask your previous experience, like in which field you have worked on, like technical part or functional part. Then I will explain you in better way.
I was into technical.
Into technical, like can you just let me know which field, like Java developer or something, like
I was
anything
working for
else?
a DevOps. I'm working for DevOps currently. Okay.
Okay. So
I,
see,
yeah.
if you have experience in technical, so here you can consider as a techno functional role. I'll explain you how. So there is a CIG configuration, so a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things functionally you can understand how the PO is going within your configuration point. When you are doing the configuration for technical perspective, then only we are doing some testing, we are sending some POs, we are checking whether that PO has been passing from an Ariba network or not. That time you will understand this is your functional work, how it is it will be doing. But when you are approaching any organization, like I have this years of experience, haven't worked on Ariba, I want to get into that. So they are asking you for the downstream and upstream, but you can focus on configuration point of view. I'll
No, no, I
explain you
don't
why.
want to. No, I don't want to focus on configuration part. I just wanted to work on the core concepts of Ariba. Okay. So I'm looking the knowledge to get both on upstream and downstream. So will it be covered on
Yes,
this?
yes, here we are going to cover, see, from scratch understanding what is sourcing. So I already explained why sourcing, and how it will be. So in real time how it will be happening, how we are sending a sourcing request, how we are creating a sourcing project, what are the important things in sourcing request, why it is required, how we are going to do the comparison, how we are figuring out the suppliers, how we are sorting that on which factors, everything as a functional you are going to understand here. See, I already explained here there is a template based approach here. So from scratch, like, you never understand what is RFI. You earlier you don't know what is RFI, request for information, how what information we are gathering. But here we are floating information with the technical configuration, some commercial configuration. There is some questions we will ask to suppliers, some basic understanding about the procurement you need to gather from yourself. But other related with this Ariba configuration, not only for the upstream but for the downstream, we are here to explain you each and every basic concept here. You anytime you can ask me what is this, I'll explain you from the scratch. But that you have to raise a voice for that. If you are a fresher, you don't know nothing about the functional, I'll explain you. You can decide later on for which you have to go, whether you are comfortable for the
I'm
sourcing,
not,
you are
uh, I'm
comfortable.
not, I'm not going as a CJA only. I just wanted to go it as a functional Ariba consultant. Okay. So for
Yes, yes,
that,
I understand.
I need a knowledge on both upstream and downstream. So that you
Yes,
have anyway covered. We are going to cover. So coming to
yes,
this Ariba sourcing. So are you going to start with Ariba sourcing, or you will start with the supply side, life cycle management? Because while creating the Ariba sourcing project, we just need how the suppliers will be on board, and where we have to create the suppliers. All these things should be start first, right, before going to the sourcing.
yes. See, I'll show you the realm
That's why I'm
actually.
asking this one. In the interview,
So,
like if I go as a functional Ariba consultant, they'll definitely ask me the flow. Okay, what exactly
hmm,
the flow you're going, right? So if
yes,
someone starts with the sourcing,
hmm,
maybe in my mind I feel like, okay, first we have started with sourcing and we have laid all the suppliers, we have added everything, right? So
hmm, hmm,
before that, I need to know how the suppliers are onboarding, right? How I can create the suppliers, how later on I can imagine, okay, first I've created the suppliers, onboard suppliers, what happened, and then post we went to sourcing, then where we have attached the suppliers that we have already created, and then later on we'll go to the contract and so on, right? So if you can have it in a flow, that will be helpful
yes,
in people like me.
yes, definitely. See, here we have sourcing module. Don't consider this module has been configured with any backend ERP and anything if there is integration. So this is considered as a standalone module. Here, whenever we are going to create the sourcing project, within this sourcing project, we can create a suppliers. Okay. If you have SLP module, then whenever you are going to create any suppliers, you can directly come here. You can create a suppliers from here. This is called SLP model. You can directly create a supply request from here. So if you see, this is the suppliers which already some has been trying to create supply request 4420. One second. See, 28 registration, qualification 11, preferred 3, disqualification. You can go and check whether the supplier has been registered or not, whether it is just a supply request. If you see, this supply request has been approved, and here it is showing SM vendor ID. What is it? It means it is a supplier management ID. Registration yet not done, pending for approval. Preferred status yet not decided. ERP integrate yet not synced to backend ERP. Here, if you see VDR ID, AN ID, what these IDs are, I'm going to explain for which module this ACM ID. See, simply I'll tell you here. This ACM ID is used for sourcing, and this SMID is used for the vendor management, mean SLP. Whenever you are not integrated with any backend ERP, you can go and check that supplier has this. This is the only ID. ACM ID. So that is a standalone system. If no one has been going to explain you, you can just understand from this ID, this system is standalone. If it is configured with the SLP or any other module, then SLP basically, so this SMID will be there. If your sourcing is integrated with the backend commerce automation, then this ERP ID will become, then your system is showing ACM ID along with this ERP backend ID. So this VDR ID has been not there. This is for SLP only, and AN ID is common for everything. Whenever supplier, see, this question will be asked in interview also. I'll explain you what is AN ID. Whenever supplier will go and first they will log in into their system, that time this ANID has been automatically generated first time. If your supplier has already logged in many times earlier, you can just go and ask for his ANID, and you can put into your go to your buyer account, you can ask them for the trading relationship directly. Your supplier will be in your network for commerce automation purpose. You can invite, you can also create a supplier request for that supplier, and you can update this NID. So going ahead, I'll explain you each and every basic concept. What are the differentiate in sourcing standalone, and what are those into integrated, because lot of things will be in backend, not only about the creating a supplier, or not only creating the line items, about your field mapping. Whatever fields you have mapping for that, those fields are going to update in your backend system in ERP. Your master data, your company organization level, your financial details, your organization level, your plant level, your department level, what are those things we have mapping for that, it will going to update. So but in standalone we are not going to update any mapping for that. So how it will should be, if I don't want to award some, awarding means I don't want to create a PO for this particular material, I just want to create and I just it should be remain. So no need to send that particular code to your external system. So how they are happening, we are going to check here. See, Ariba sourcing, it is easy to understand for all the concept, upstream and downstream. That's why we are starting Ariba sourcing. Here you are creating a PO, here you are updating the suppliers. Supplier is a common things for all the module, also your line items, all the whatever master data for that, company organization level details, how to upload the master data, how to create the rules, how to configure the templates, how to create a users in this. So everything we are covering in the sourcing. So all other module, you will understand, no need to discuss this approval flow, I know how to configure this. So these features are common in for all other things. So that's why we are starting from the sourcing. If you want to understand how to create a simple request, so you have a template for that. So once you understand how to configure this template, so you can easily go and check for contracts. There is some additional things for contracts, but at least you can understand the basic to how to create a template. What are the templates, why template is important, how, what are the key benefits from the creating a separate template for each commodity, so that you will understand. So that things we are going to cover in sourcing. That's why we are starting with the sourcing. I'll explain you each and every basic things about the sourcing. Then entire P2P or procure to pay, any module like sourcing, SLP, commerce automation, supply chain collaboration, contracts, it will start with your sourcing. Why I'm telling you, because until and unless any organization don't have any material request or any service request, all these steps will be zero. If you don't want to buy any particular material, why you're creating any PR? So that is why we are creating from the sourcing. So you'll understand when the things has been starting from where and where it is going.
Okay.
Hello.
So once you complete the sourcing, then you'll be going in detail of contract supplies, all the modules, right?
Yes, yes. See why we are focusing. Once you understand the template configuration, approval flows, master data management, so these things will be, we are just focusing on concepts. All other basics we have covered here only.
Okay.
And for supply SLP, second is part like SLP, because this module is important, and we required you have to attention here, because upstream suppliers, how we can take from sourcing. Some, see, there is some scenarios in organization. If you have some scenario like your client is using sourcing only, so he will create some suppliers on sourcing, but now after some point time he purchased the supply SLP and commerce automation. Then how you will migrate those suppliers from sourcing to SLP? So that is important point. How your other legacy supply you are migrated from your ERP to Ariba. So these important factors we have to focus. Then to downstream, how those suppliers we can take to downstream. So that is again an important concept for contracts and P2P things, because that partition supplies, how we are going to convert those supplies into partition. So that's why we are covering second SLP, then contracts, then supply chain and PO collaboration, like supply chain collaboration and commerce automation, along with that CIG configuration, integration part. And lastly, we are going to cover like catalog management. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll quickly explain you what are benefits you are going to get from these things, why it is required. See, we are just not sharing some knowledge on this. Whenever you are going, anyone will ask you on which integration module, at least one integration module you have to work. They will ask you if you have experience on any integration. You can tell them I have SLP, I have sourcing, I have commerce automation, I have worked on. So how that project has been start from scratch, what are the timelines, what basic details we have to collect from a client. So these things also we are going to discuss here, not only the concept of functional things, but these configuration points also we are going to discuss. So I'll show you some. 1 second, let me check.
So will we be discussing the
Yes,
procurement analytics? I mean the reporting part.
yes, yes. There is reporting. Actually, see whatever the Ariba prepackaged reports and public reports, we are to going to configure for you. You also configure this. In this, we have, see, prepackaged reports also we have, and public reports. So these we are going to show you how to configure these things, the basic understanding on these reports. So you can later on you can configure your own reports, reporting for contract, sourcing, SLP, based on your requirement you can configure. I'll explain you that
Got it.
things. Reporting also is
Got it.
part that.
Thank you.
Yeah. See these event types, RFI, RFP, auction, forward auction. Within this, we are going to discuss all these three types for reverse auction, along with the one more type is like reverse auction, the Dutch information, sorry, the Dutch, and then we have nowadays Japanese auction also there. So we are going to discuss that also. Why forward auction? Sometimes company wants to sell their scrap material or some old machineries, so that time they doing the forward auction. Here concept is like back. Here we are trying to reduce the pricing in auction. Whenever we are buying, we try to reduce the pricing, but when we are selling something, we want more money. So that for that reason, that is called a forward auction. So the basic concept is downward and upward bidding. Here we are doing downward bidding, and here we are doing upward bidding. We want some money, additional extra money from the selling, and we are here we are discussing downward bidding. We will discuss that how to configure these things, what are the settings for that, how reverse auction will be happening, bid transformation, total cost, index auction, Dutch auction. So quickly I'll explain you. If you want to discuss or any points you have in your mind, you can ask me. Hello, anyone? Hello.
Hello everyone, guys. If you are having any queries, please be open so that if you ask more queries, like we'll be getting to know like how much you're understanding and how we are going to tweak our training according to your understanding also. So please be open. You means like open to ask any sort of questions. So that would be helpful for us
because
to
this
take
session is
the
just
check
to
level.
understand your
Yeah.
gaps, understand your expertise. If you want any knowledge, why you want to join this, your doubts, you can clarify here, so I'll try to answer that points. Because going ahead, we are going to we are focusing on your this training. So if I know in advance, so I'll more focus on your side. So whatever doubts you have, you can ask any basic doubts. No need to worry about if you have any like for commerce automation or supply chain. Here we are going to discuss upstream and downstream model. So if you don't know what is the upstream and downstream, again you want some points to discuss here, we can focus on that.
You're going
Hi,
to cover
Radhison.
source to pay and procure to pay also, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Hi, Radhison. This is Hers
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Just to confirm, will we be getting any sort of a template where you will give us timelines or like the accent, for example, end-to-end implementation. So whether are we, how are we registering the supplier? What are the documents required from the supplier? Whether TRR would be required. So will you be setting any sort of like a project timeline or the activity, sort of the list of the activities that needs to be considered and taken into the consideration before onboarding the supplier and stuff like that for any project?
Yes, 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 yes. See, uh, I already explained you. This is the any event. This is a event level timeline. These things I'll explain. I'll share you here some project plan also. So how projects plan will be happen? What activity we have to do? What is the like this thing? This is called like, if you aware about the concept like Jira, we have some other things tool maybe you're using. Might some organization is already using that. So this is called like so these are the timelines, project timeline. So this activate methodology, you know about that. What is the activate methodology? We have like one tool, I'm forgetting that tool actually. Snow. You heard about that Snow? There is a project plan we are creating. So here we are using activate methodology for that. Why activate methodology? We are starting from the kickoff project scanning. We have to, week wise track on that. So how we are planning for go live, sorry, from kickoff, then understanding as is process, then to be blueprint sign up, or realization, actual configuration, test, UAT, go live tracker, and then hypercare. What are things we are going to cover under the hypercare? So everything we are going to, I'll explaining you in that way. So understanding, like you have already worked on any integration project, so what is the duration for that? In project kickoff, what are the steps? I'll explain. I'll share you these things, you can go and check any point of view. And also not only for this is the project timeline, but in a particular event like sourcing, how you are going to decide the strategy. So what is the data scope, what are the item specification, what details you have to collect from buyer. So these are activity are already prepared here. If you go and check the scope of work, what is the scope of work, why I have to create a sourcing project, so you can collect the data from buyer. You can ask him what is the specification, what is the current price, you have any historical price for that, contact details for incumbent suppliers. Incumbent means your legacy suppliers or your existing suppliers. Quantity, how many quantity you have to buy it, what is the price scope, what you have any budget in your mind, expected delivery date, payment terms, payment method, delivery locations, technical documents, technical evolution criteria, commercial evolution. And then you can float a RFP based on these details. Once you got, you can decide okay, this is a high level value or this is a small level value, so I'll decide the lead time for that. You can take a sign off from your client. If you want to take a sign off from your client, you can take a hello. Hello.
Hi
Can you
Shyam,
hear
Radhesham.
me?
I don't know if
Yeah,
you're
welcome
not
to you.
audible.
Yeah, hi Radhesham. I lost you for a while actually, but
yes,
now
yes,
you're
yes,
back,
yes.
I guess.
There is some.
Not an issue.
Okay. So, so based on these details, you can decide the concept of any projects. Like you can decide the strategy for that particular. And here, one second. Okay. So basically, we will decide the event level strategy, how we are going to create this event, and what strategy we have to focus. So you can ask for the details like this. Then you can decide the strategy how we are going to float this RFP for how many days, how many hours. You can ask for new supplies. If they ask you for go and find out some additional supplies on Ariba Discovery, or you want some register new supplies, so you can ask for the supplies, any documents sign up like NDA, and then you can create actual RFP, RFI, and then auction. You can decide the you can identify the supplies. Once you decide the specification, you can create an event, and then you can start monitoring that event as how supplier has been sending the quotations. Yeah, then once you finalize the quotation, once you got the quotations, you can decide for the further negotiation. Before that, you can do the comparison. For that, you can take a proper approval from your management, and you can decide for the further auction strategy based on
Understood.
your
And
technical
Rajesh,
and commercial. Yeah.
and I have one more additional question. Going back to the upstream SLP module. So, for
Mhm.
example, if the supplier is not already working with the organization, for example, supplier is not working already with the buyer, can we request SLP for the supplier that are already not working with us? To see if they would be better aligned with the organization needs and goals. Can we do that?
Yes, see, each and every things like whenever we are discussing that things, like supplier, if your supplier is already registered, you are doing first time business with them, so you can ask him for that reason. Like
Okay.
you can send a invitation for that, or else what you can do, you can ask him to send a supply request from themselves also. There is a two type of request: supplier created or either buyer created. So anything you can do that. Anyway, there is a two types of supplier request we can create. One second, what happening? Okay, now I'll do this later on. See, so in SLP we have two types of supply requests actually. The presentation is not opening, don't know why. So there is a two type of sourcing supply request. Either buyer can create internally create a supply request, or supplier also ask you for the registration purpose. So he will create a supply request on behalf of means from web link. So that is the way we can approve that supply request, and then we can decide whether the supplier needs to be registered or not in our business. Till that time you can utilize that supplier in your sourcing request. No need to create a supply no need to do the registration for that. If you want to do the registration, that is up to business. They want to qualified supplier, they can do the qualification for that supplier, and then only you can invite into any sourcing event. So that is actually two different cases actually. So case to case we can decide how we are going to this supplier will register.
Understood. So there could be two scenarios, right? One is if the supplier is already registered into the Ariba network, then it would be
Yes.
easy straight. But if the supplier is not registered into Ariba network, then we would basically send a request, or like as you called out, they will submit a request and it will work out like that. Understood.
uh, Supplier, sometimes it happen like supplier is already registered with other organizations, like they are using they are, supplier is using Ariba since long time, but for your organization it is new. Still you have to do the registration. Why it is important? Because your company organization will be different, your purchase org will be different from other companies. So that's why you have to register that supplier for your particular things. So that is a based on your, you have some different set of questions for your registering the suppliers. Your the bank detail, you're collecting bank details, you're collecting his financial details, you're collecting his organization level details, suppliers organization detail. But you have some points where you will decide whether I want to register this supplier for so and so purchase org, so and so company code, so and so payment terms I have to decide, so and so withholding tax. So these are the financial details. You're based on that you are going to register. So for that reason you have to register that supplier whether he is existing in Ariba or not. That is only beneficial for your sourcing, that is beneficial for so commerce automation, because the ANID is already registered for SLP. That is not a valid case. You have to register, you have to send a registration questionnaire to that particular supplier.
Understood.
Hello.
Thank you, Ras.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
understood.
that is actually many times suppliers will do the registration for many organizations, like they will use a multiple accounts from their portfolio. I'll show you how it looks. We will do the supplier registration for one of my existing already using for test purpose. I'll show you how it looks for supplier end if he is using different organization. I have one supplier where we have that setup configuration. Okay,
So in
we'll
which scenarios
directly
we use supplies from the Ariba network?
commerce automation, because see commerce automation it is just like this thing, you have already registered your suppliers, and based on that you're just using his commerce Ariba network ID, and you are sending a trading relationship for that. One second, let me stop sharing and I'll share you again. One second. I'll show you how it looks in Ariba network. Okay. Nine. Let me share my screen. I think here we don't have the let me check the buyer accounts, huh? No. I'll check for the buyer accounts. Actually, we don't have right now, but I'll show you in CIG how it looks. So nowadays, CIG called as a managed gateway and spend analysis. You have to enable this, and then you can redirect from your sourcing SLP directly to the CIG. We don't have any supplier here, but I'll try to show you some payload from where we can at least identify which is the supplier account. Also from here, I'll show you which is the supplier we have on Ariba network. I think network is so low for Ariba. I'll try to show you here some screenshot if I have.
We have suppliers, some of the suppliers, Radhesham, but I think some other users are using. I'll give you the suppliers, qualified suppliers, maybe tomorrow. Yeah.
Mhm. No, no, we have here in system. I just want to show you here in this SLP as well as in CIG.
Yes, yes,
So I'll try to
CID.
get some payload. See,
Just trying to. But
there is a Ariba network configuration. We have to for a legacy like supplier is existing on Ariba network. So in Ariba network, we have one steps like send a trading relationship to that particular suppliers. Also, we can create a supplier from that trading relationship. So we can directly invite that supplier. We can copy his ANID. We can go and simply check in that network, and then that supplier we can ask for a trading relationship. Also we can modify our ERP ID. We will sync our ERP ID. We have to manually update because that is actually a network configuration. For that reason you can also load the Excel sheet, or else you can directly manually you can go and invite that supplier and you can update the ERP ID. So in that way only we are doing. We are manually going and changing his ERP ID in Ariba network. Here we don't have the access for right now Ariba network, but I'll try to show you in transition tracker how it looks. Whenever there is a Saturday Sunday na, test account is like will not use completely. It will show some error. So basically our internal vendor code and ANID should be in sync to do the business with that supplier for Ariba network things. So that is the only challenge. And from our side we will invite that supplier on Ariba network.
And Rajan, just to confirm, we are doing this stuff to establish connection between both networks, which is the supplier network and the buyer network, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So like here we have like connectivity tool. We have to configure our backend system along with our ANID. See, this is a sender ANID. So it means it is a buyer ANID. So we have to configure your backend system, your Ariba realm that is used on this destination. If you see, so for Ariba realm, it is this is your URL http hyphen search.au.cloud. So that is your realm actually, and this is your ANID. For buyer account it is used on ANID, and your system backend system it is based on the configuration of that particular ERP backend ERP. If you see, we have sourcing demos, test project. These are your backend ERP system. You can go and check here what is the system ID and everything. So that things we can configure here for the backend system configuration. For supplier also we have Ariba network and a supplier registration. We can configure sourcing, SLP, contract, related suppliers from SLP for guided buying, guided sourcing, guided buying, catalog management. Also we can create suppliers from here, but only for the commerce automation and supply chain collaboration, we have to send the request from Ariba network.
Generally, when we get the requirement from the client, from where we'll get the suppliers to associate with that particular client sourcing.
So I'll show you one second.
That means to this particular client, we have to add this supplier. Like how we'll get that information? Who will provide us that
So
information?
So for sourcing, we have data collection template here. If you see, enable workbook enablement, it is called. So here we can ask for key suppliers to upload from Ariba. But if there is a SLP, so new supplier request, we can directly create a supplier request. For legacy supplier, we have data migration from ERP to Ariba. So for there is that is called a DRF out actually. See here we can create the external organization supplier, then your commodity code, your so master data we can maintain from here actually. So this is the call workbook enablement sheet for sourcing. Whenever you are going a standalone activity or integrated, first you will have to fill up this integrated because some fields like region department these are standard fields. But if you want to create a additional field, custom field, like your organization using plant, so that is a custom field. So for that plant you have to request that plant field. So you'll getting this along with the sourcing you'll getting the 5 fields custom field. So for that reason you can ask this field, I want to update the commodity sorry plant field in my this thing. So you can request from this workbook enablement sheet. You can go and ask them for custom field, and along with that your region department commodity code commodity mapping unit of measurement currency conversion enterprises supplier group description user groups, and also data collection for sourcing form like your organization level PO. Sorry, this is the custom field related. You can create a this thing. You can ask for the field plant, and you can ask him that you want how it should be this is visible to or not. Then what is the header field, data, date, decimal, money, free text. So what is the answer type for that field? So in that way you can ask. So this is the form that is called workbook enablement. From here you can ask anything for suppliers master data these things. Even you have separate things. If you have don't want to use that, you have directly come here in data import export. You have a lot of files you can import from here. Like if you want to update your uh, like one second company code. So that is a custom field. So you have to go and check what is the custom field. Like so you can also commodities master things. So this master data you can download here UNSSP and this thing, and then you can update the your ERP commodity code. So that is custom field. So that custom data also you can export import from here. Some data is automatically we can fetch from ERP, some data manually we have to fill up. Even supplier registration purpose, if you want to collect the supplier information from buyer, you can also do the DRF out, or you can take a Excel sheet from them. In a way we have one mass invite option. You can take that supplier list, and you can also invite in a mass level. Means if you have to one shot you have to invite 100 suppliers, you can also do that. You can take a supplier list from buyer, you can ask them simply. You can also manually you can also update the suppliers, their organization level details, their contact details from here. See purchasing or data, and then your contact details. These two files are important to explore suppliers, import export suppliers. So this is the Excel based work. If you want to do that, you can do. Here we have sample export files. You can directly share these files to your buyers and ask for the information. You can simply export this sample file, available data I have explored. So these data is already in my system. So whatever the header fields, you can simply send this header to your buyer and ask for the information. So whatever
So from
details he
this
have, he will.
suppliers and same suppliers we have to associate.
Yes, yes.
Am I understanding correct?
Sorry, come again.
From this chosen data, we have to take the suppliers and we have to configure those suppliers to the sourcing project. Is my understanding
Yes,
correct?
yes. See, we have 100 suppliers here. Right now. 44 28 register qualified, 11 3 papered, and 1 disqualified. So out of these suppliers, if you want to invite for any sourcing project, you can choose. Or you want some new suppliers, you can register, you can create a supply request for them, and you can utilize for the sourcing, because it is ongoing process. Every time you will get some new suppliers, also some legacy suppliers you have to pick up for any event. So that is a going ahead, you have to do that activity. So these activity you can quickly do. You can create a supply request and you can add that supplier into sourcing request. If you want to send a PO for that supplier, now you have decided I have to send a PO, then only you
Mm.
can register that supplier for PO sending, because we required a, that is a mandatory step to complete the registration to send a PO. So that's why I have 44 requests, but only 28 supplier has been registered. So we will discuss how the templates work, what is the business scenario, how business will work for not only for the sourcing or SLP commerce automation point of view. Then your contract, how your contract clauses has been created, how it looks in a system, how you are going to use your legacy contract, what are the important factors to get the legacy contract into system. Akshay is already experienced in these things. He will explain you later on. Basic understanding for that, you can create a clause library, your rules, work files, your team members, approval flows. So we will explain all these things, like how to configure this overview tab, what are the important things in here. So what is the process, and what are the commodity, and how it will show you what is how we can understand it is a which contract it is, how we can utilize these things, how to configure this contract, task, team members. These are the tasks, how we are going to add here, what how to configure the folders. So these are the functional work. As a as a functional consultant, we are doing this activity. We are, the client don't know how to configure this thing, we are doing that activity. So we are in a proper manner how we are creating this task. Then we are creating some, if you see here, we have to do task phase, to do task, notification task, approval task, signing task. What are the different tasks we can create. So as a functional, you are going to understand for one projects what are the key features. Like here we have signing task, but in sourcing we don't have any signing task. Why? Because sourcing we are not going to sign any document directly from that, we are taking approval for that. But here we have one document which is required our sign on each and every page. Any contract have each page we are going to sign. So why this signing task is here? In SLP we have additional answer types. Why these additional question answer types we have? So my basic understand, like I'm explaining each and everything whatever I understand, and what are the base for your perspective. Like you are just starting your
હું
career in Ariba.
ક્લાસમાં છું
Okay.
હું ભણું છું
And
તને ખબર નથી પડતી.
sorry, someone is speaking. Can you just mute yourself? Okay. So this is the dashboard of Ariba. So from here we are going to uh, search any document. Like if you see analytical report, compound report, content document, contract, workspace, internal procurement, sales. So these documents we can event any knowledge projects you have created, sourcing project, disqualification, preferred supplier, performance of supplier, supplier request, how many supplier requests I have. So everything, any documents here. If you don't have idea what sourcing process you have created, you can simply go and search, click on this search. System will automatically show you the results. So if you see, there is a more than display recently view projects. No search was performed for search criteria above. Click search. So if it is particularly, if you want to search any document number, you can mention here. You want some filter, you can configure this filter from here. You can search. So these are some filters. Like if you see, you can set any filters. Like you want to search from department level, creation date, contract types, commodity level. You can make it a filter for your easy access. So that is things. This is the dashboard, quick actions we can do. Then you can check your event statuses here: draft, preview, open, pending selection, for any module, not only for the sourcing. It is common for all the modules. Like for SLP, sourcing, contract, P2P, catalog management, if you see invoicing, supplier risk. So all the modules we have, we can, this dashboard you can configure. This is a pre-configured, but we can also configure our own dashboard, how it looks, which fields you want. You can drag and drop. Simply you don't want these things, you can drag this, you can send this here. So this basic configuration of dashboard also we are going to check. This is my task, you are doing what activity you are doing. Even you can go and check your recent activities, which events you have created recently. It is showing here at left side. You see some has been created, this TKW contact workface June 13. Supply request someone has been created. So these are the shortcuts for your. Now you have to do task. What is to do task and what is review task? To do task is nothing but you have to perform, you have to create, or you have to approve. See, this is the supply request form. I have to perform something. This task is approval for sourcing request. I have to approve this task. Approval for sourcing request, July 3rd July, sourcing request 2. So this needs, I have to approve this. So this is my to do. Whenever you have to perform something, that is come under your to do task. My document nothing but what documents in draft, what document is active, what document has register qualification. So this is your document which you have already worked. So some documents inactive, some document has been expired. So that is your task. To do task you have to perform. Then you have 12 months of calendar. If you scroll down here, you have 12 months of calendar. How many RFI you have created, RFPs, auction, survey. How you have to go and check. RFI I have draft 200, RFP 550, auction 228, survey 27. So what, why it is important? So whenever you are doing something, you have some work, you have to perform some RFPs later on, you can make it in a draft. Preview, you have published that RFP but yet not started. So RFI, RFP, if you see, I have one RFP in, RFI in preview, 8 RFP in preview, one auction in preview. Preview means that auction yet not started, or that RFP yet not started. I have just published that, but the time remaining for that, after some times it will start. Open means currently it is open. I have 8 RFI, 26 RFP, 27. So why this needs to be configured for your users also. You have to configure these things. See, this 12 months calendar, you can explain them how it's looking, what it means. Open, pending selection means your time has been over, but yet not you have awarded, you have not created any PO or contract from this event and completed it. Either you have cancelled the event, or you have send the like you have created the PO for that, or you have created the contract. Then only it is showing the contract complete, sorry, complete document. So survey I have 14 completed, auction I have 195. There is a different reports you can also configured. Here financial analytical report has not no one has been configured, but pre-packaged reports, commodity analysis, your commodity, how many commodity, how which commodity has been major spend, cleaning equipments. I have 69% of if you see commodity analysis, 69% of spend use here in this particular commodity, furniture, all these things. You can go and simply download this report. You can also check which contract has been expiring for me. So simply you can go and your configure your dashboard from this tab, add new tab, or add new content. So we will check later on how it has to be configured. So this sourcing, if you want here a catalog management, you can just simply click on this procurement. It will automatically come here. You can also check guided sourcing request, quick project action. No action you have in procurement. You can simply go and click on supplier management. So it will show you the supplier dashboard, supplier related dashboard. So it is easy to access. So manage recent, it is nothing but recent activity what you did, which I already shown on the dashboard, also on sourcing. Manage, we have administrative access here. Administration, this administration is for the sourcing, this is for P2P, and this administration for SLP, supplier life cycle. So they have different set of activity, they have different set of access for that. So for that access I will share you some documents, how does access rules you have to configure, users creation part, groups creation part, approval process, lookup table, how we are going to use that. So these are way forward. You have to understand where I have to use the users, where I have to use the groups, where I have to use the lookup table. So going ahead, creating task, team members adding, giving them access for particular role. So everything we are going to discuss as a functional, you will understand, and betterly later on you can configure your templates. You can decide which templates is suitable for your client. We can, you can download that template if you want. Someone has asked me that can I download my template which I configured here. You, yes, you can download your templates, you can copy that excel sheet, you can keep it as a reference. Supplier registration templates, you can keep it as in excel template, you can copy that. Any other template for sourcing, contract, any templates you can make it as a reference. You can take a excel dumps for that. That is up to you. Any other points or any things you want to understand about the Ariba, or any other, or I'll explain you
While
some other module.
registering, while
Yeah.
doing the this supplier life cycle, right? So how you onboard the new suppliers? Like from where you will get the new suppliers for the onboarding?
See, basically here I'll get the data from client. I can go here and I'll create on sourcing supplier request. So I'll take the basic details. What basic details? I'll take his organization name. I don't know what, where it is planned, whether it is what commodity he is sending, but I just know this supplier is. I just want to register for so and so commodity. So I'll, basic information I'll collect from supplier or from buyer. They will share as a functional consultant. I'm telling you. So what I'll do, I'll ask that particular buyer, give me the name of that supplier, organization name. I'll collect his address. If he have address, I'll put something, some details here, basic information about his address. I'll take his first name, last name, contact phone number, email ID, and category. Which category? Because this additional information is required for the approval purpose. Your manager going to be approve this supplier request. So we have to put the basic information for this commodity, for this region, for this user department. We have to use the supplier request. If you don't have the details, you can put anything to take the prior approval. But most of the time every buyer have know that this category for this supplier and region for this. So this is a pre-configured. You can decide what questions you have to ask for that. It is up to you. Payment address, what is tax number, no need to ask this question here, but just someone has been created for the practice purpose. So such question, what basic information you can, we can collect, and from that we can create a source supplier request. So whether you
First
can
we'll
also
create the
create.
request. Yeah, please.
No, no, you can tell me what.
First we'll create the request and then we'll do the registration and then qualification, right?
Yes,
This is
yes. So I'll show you how it looks. If you have
So
to go to
can
here.
we modify this template?
Yes, that is our job only. We as a functional consultant doing the approval, sorry, modification of template, we are going to learn these things, how to modify these templates, how to set up the rules, how to set up questions, what are the mappings for that, answer type, different answer type for that. I'll show you how looks template looks like. See, this
Yep.
this is an
So
approval.
to add here, Radhesham, I'm just telling to everyone, Anjali, for you especially, because we had a offline conversation as well. So this is the just an overview Radhesham is showing. So when we go deep dive, how actually we are doing, you'll be having a very much clear understanding. Okay. Today he's giving just an overview kind of thing for everyone based upon your questions coming up. But when we are onboarding the supplier, when we are doing the approval processes, everything based upon the particular scenario, will be covering everything again. Yeah, no worries on that part. Am I right, Radhesham? If you correct me if I'm
Yes,
wrong.
yes, correct. We have template, different templates. See, we have sourcing template, sourcing related templates, RFI, RFP, auctions template. We have contract related templates. We are going to configure that things. For SLP we have templates, so we will understand what templates, how it looks. Supply request template, how it is. Registration template is different, qualification template, commodity level templates. So we have different set of configurations, so we are going to do that. So these templates we will modify it, and I'll going to explain you how to modify that templates. Okay, so this is the supply request already created someone, and we are going to invite that supplier. So you have to go to the summary. Here it is, if you see here, supply request detail. In registration we haven't sent this supplier for registration, I think. One second, let me check. It is already invited and it is already registered. See, this supplier is registered. I'll try to find out some supplier where it is not registered. Approved. So this is called a 360 view of supplier. So you will understand summary, contact, ERP level details, certificate level details, activity log, risk, business activity, supplier request. So this supplier has sent for registration. It is, if you see, we have supplier request we have created. We have two types of questionnaire here: supplier registration questionnaire, supplier registration questionnaire. This is called supplier registration questionnaire. If it is type is external and internal. What is internal and external? We will ask supplier about his organization, his commodity, his uh, work details like category, commodities, banking details, his information. And this internal registration nothing but in which purchasing org, because going ahead we have to create the supplier for some purchase org, company code, plant level. So that details we are going to fill it. So that is called accounting information. That accounting information filled up by us, that is a buyer job. Our finance team and procurement team will decide for which company code, which plant, which region we have to update this supplier. So we'll put our accounting group. See, Z002, this is a PO vendor. So this company code, accounting clerk, payment terms, payment method, reconciliation account. So everything will be decided by us. So that's why this information fill up by buyer. So there is a different task of that, creating a supplier. So this here also required approval. We will decide who will approve, which part someone approve. Our management will decide. So for that we have task created. If you see, there is a task supply complete internalization. This is under project owner. So it is in progress. Supplier is filling. Once that will come to us, we have different team, like accounting information will be approved by account team. Purchase or related information will be approved by purchase team, then management, then the supplier will go into the register. So these tasks, how we are going to, these all things we are going to learn here. How to build up these things, what, how these questions we are going to add. We will collect these questions from buyer. This section we will create company code, we will put this data, we will create this answer type. So that is our template level configuration. I'll quickly show you one example of a template, so you will understand how template looks like and why it is important to configure, learn a template configuration. Until and unless you will not understand the template configuration, you are not going to learn any module like sourcing, SLP, contract. These three modules basically, these are template based approach module. The other modules also have some set of forms or some set of different things That is important, but if you understand the templates, you will definitely understand those things also. One second, it is loading. Anyone fresher here who don't have involved in any other uh, experience? Totally fresher. Hello.
Yeah, I'm a fresh.
Okay, okay. uh, if you have any doubt or if you're confused about these things, you can let me know, because I think some part may be jumbled to you. See here we have.
Radhashyam, will it be possible to you to, I mean, explain the topics from the interview point of view as well? I mean, what questions might interviewer can ask from us pertaining to a specific topic? That would be great.
See, whenever I am going to teach you these things, I am explaining these things. I'll you can just note it down that time. I'll tell you which
Hmm.
question they will ask. Taking a
Yeah.
separate session, that is not possible. But whenever I'm
No, 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 not
configuration,
asking about the separate session. I'm just saying that whenever you are discussing a certain topic, you can
correct,
add
correct.
that this question might be asked by an
Yes, yes.
interviewer in an interview. This is all I
So
want.
that is a task to you guys. You can just
Yeah.
note it down. You can just share me the list once that module has been complete. We will discuss again that points for your just quick learning, and that is important why that question has been asked in interview. So we will discuss that. Huh?
But
One
I don't
second.
know na ke what questions
I'll
interviewer
No, no.
yeah might
I'm
ask
going to
me.
I'm going
No,
to tell you that time.
All right.
sorry to interrupt you guys.
Yeah,
So Radheshan, yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
She is just asking to indicate which are the possible questions in the interview may be asked. Let's
Yes,
say, for
yes.
example, sourcing one part you're doing. So when not often, no, whenever you feel it's really going to be helpful for them, so that would be a
Yeah.
Yes,
great
yes.
help for them as well. Yeah,
Yes, that time,
great.
see, for what questions asked in SLP, I'll tell them these are the important points which might be asked you in interview. I think I have explained in
That would be great.
yeah, yeah. Today also I have highlighted that point that might be asked you in interview. So that
Yeah.
time you can just note it down. You can ask me
Great,
again.
great.
Can you just
Sure.
explain that point?
Sure,
See,
Radhashyam. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah,
So this is the
even the all
so
the
this is
sessions are getting recorded. So yeah, thank you.
yes, yes,
Sorry,
yes, yes,
please go
yeah,
ahead.
yes, sir. Yeah. See, like any template have same format, like SLP, sourcing, contract. So if you are going to modify that template, just need to go here, uh, overview tab. These tabs are same: overview, document, task, team, condition, advanced option, history. So that the common things you might you'll see, you cannot say that my contract has been different tabs or my sourcing has different tabs. Some tasks maybe there is a difference, but most this overview, document, task, team, condition, advanced option, history tabs are same for templates. You have to go to the overview in action. You can click on here. Already there is a new version, like we are just trying to, if you see strategy draft, you can just come to the document. So that the document is nothing but your template. So here if you go and check at left side, there is a rules, participant, content, summary. Again these 4 points are same for template modification. In rules, like we have supplier eligibility criteria rules, timing rule, why it is important, we are going to learn these things. What is the minimum criteria, how we are decided, on which basis, what strategy. Here we can learn these things. But what is this non-invited, invited, register, qualification not started, what are these states. So each and every rules we are going to learn in a minor level. Why it is important, what is this read only hidden, what it means, how going we are going to modify on supplier level, sorry, event level. Timing rules, how my supplier will be, how many days or RFP will be open. Bidding rules, nothing but that is why it is important. How, what rules we have to use for uh, SLP. So not all the rules required for SLP. So whatever we required, we will decide, we will configure these things. These are the standard rules, huh? We are deciding on template level whether we have to use this or not. On that basis we are developing our template. So these are the pre-configured questions are we are configuring later on. So project owner, what are the owner's rules? Means you are the project owner. What rules you have to, can you project owner create the formula? In SLP we don't require a formula, but in sourcing, but in RFP we require, we have to create a formula, because there is a price into quantity, not only that formula but other customs also we have. For that time we can use response, how we are going to take that response, market feedback, what market feedback I'm getting from suppliers. So that market feedback you are deciding, this is the functional work, you have to decide this, what needs to be shown to the suppliers, what we have to hidden from buyer, what we have to hidden from supplier. These all the combinations we are configuring from template level. So that is a basic understanding of the supplier template. So uh, supplier management, what is this? Specify questionnaire format. What is this questionnaire format? Means I have to create a questionnaire or form. When we are going to create a form, when we are using this questionnaire term, that we will decide, is this questionnaire required, it is a mandatory or not mandatory. Then we can decide this rule from here only. At the event level we are not going to change this thing. Once you configure this thing, it is will be there, you every time you can come here and modify it. So that reason template is required. Message board, how you will sending information notification to supplier, how your email will be using, when you have to send a, invitation. So all these things will be here, we can configure in rules only, yeah? So that is a rules tab, we have different set of rules. Now participants, we are not going to invite any participant from here, but content. So this is our job, we are going to create a content. Like here I have created one for phase, how it will be created. Here we have option add section, that is a, this is the section actually, please attach financial certification. We'll going to create here section, we'll put the section name, like, so whether it is visible, we are going to configure why it is required, for to whom it is visible, to access any team members, any visibility condition, what is it mean by visibility condition, how we are going to configure. So these are the, see I have created one, it goes on second phase, see form details. So I'll select here, I'll ask the question, you can let me know what questions you have to add. You can ask any question to supply, like what questions you have to do, description for that thing. Now this is the important, what are the answer type, how we are going to decide which answer type for which question. Like you have 10 questions, not all the questions have text, not all the questions has been whole number. So you're functionally you're going to decide, you're deciding how I want answer for that particular question. You can decide whether yes or no, attachment, certificate type, bank details, bank account, also your extended address type, what is difference between address, normal address type and extended address type, why it is important, we are going to discuss later on. Tax, percentage, quantity, commodity, region, department, supplier. So I'll select any type of question and I'll ask them and I'll select this. Yes, anyone?
Hi, Radhisam. This is so I just have
Yeah,
a quick question. Do we have any character limits for all these answers, or there's no character limits?
yes, yes, definitely there is a character limits. See, for text single limit, it is almost 140. That information you will get from SAP in workbook enablement sheet. It is already mentioned how it is, how what are the character limits for the text. Single line text limit, multiple, it is we don't have any restriction for this text, but whole number, decimal number, how you are going to date, so that all the information has been given in workbook enablement sheet. I shown you earlier here that, one second. Let me check. Huh? See here it is already in this sheet. You can find it out in this workbook enablement. It is shown what answer type SAP will share you the concerned person who is your support member. Na? They will share with you what are the limits for that. Response required. Who will respond this? You don't want required. Participant means supplier. Owner means you, buyer or your team member. Reference document you do want to visible participant. How it will visible, and then this is the important thing. Supplier field mapping. Where we are going to. Whenever we have integrated system. Now I want to send these details to my external system. Then I have to use a mapping for that particular field. So my company name is important for me to send to back to that my ERP. So for company name, I have some field mapping for that. For address, I have some contact information, mail ID, bank details. For my withholding tax details, purchase or related details, everything I have mapping. Each question have mapping. Means not all the questions required for send back to the ERP. So whatever questions or whatever fields you have to important to register a supplier in your backend, for that each and every questions you have to share add this field mapping here. Search term. If you anyone worked on S4, they know if they are going to create a PO. So that time they don't remember the full name for that supplier, but they know the keywords like four search term. Like I want to search for like any example, Maruti. So Maruti cars. So what I'll do, I'll put the star mark hashtag here, star, and I'll put the since that is a, you are going to search that. So we can decide what search term we have to put here. So for this question, if I want to put org, so that is my search term. So whenever in ERP, I'm going to I want to organization level details. What I'll do, I'll search by this name org only. So that is organization details, supply by supplier name. That is a search term. Duplicate check. This is an important thing. So
Radhisam, just
now,
to confirm, sorry
yeah,
to interrupt you, Radhisam. Just to confirm, search when you're calling out in the ERP system, you mean in buying and invoicing, right? For using the search term to search any organization, am I correct?
not in buying and invoicing.
So
Uh,
I'm
i-
trying to understand how will we find the POs in the ERP?
See, this field mapping is important. Like for company name, I have some matrix dot company code. So that is my mapping. So along with this mapping, this search term will be synced to backend system to your ERP. Along with this, your name question. Along with this, your field mapping. This search term will be mapping for that particular term. So whenever you are doing to you want to search something in your backend system, you are using that search term for ERP only. Either you are ECC or S4, you are going to search with this name. So that's why the search term is used. If you see, if you want any confusion here, you can just simply click here. If you want to make an answer to this question, I will for search, enter the search term here. If you don't need to specify a search term, answer will be not able to search in the supplier management. Also you can search from this name in within the system also, but not I am not sure about the guided source or guided buying and catalog management. I don't think it will work for that downstream, this search term.
I mean, Radhisam, I might be confusing two things, and I'm just trying to understand. The function for the search term is related to the to search items into backend ERP system, right? It has nothing to do with the downstream, right?
Yes, for downstream, I'm telling you, I'm not sure about the downstream thing because there
Understood.
is a partition
Understood.
supplier use in downstream. These are the upstream related. If you want to search this supplier by this search term, it is possible for upstream, but not for the downstream.
Understood.
I don't think it will work for downstream. But in ERP
Okay.
also you
Thank
can
you.
check. Uh, Search term will be work in ERP also. And this enable duplicate check. Duplicate check means what? See, multiple many times what happen na, we are doing same suppliers we are registering again and again. So how we will going to stop that things? Because if I am a buyer, I am creating X supplier. Again, you are also creating the same suppliers. No one will system will not stop you if you are not using this duplicate check option. So that time, or in organization level, some set of questions means like your company code, pan card, gst number, some unique documents, reference number. So that things you can use as a duplicate check, because company name is common. Sometimes maybe you will find out the some criteria like Balaji Enterprises, Balaji Technology, Balaji National International Communication. So that Balaji is common. So that's why it will show you the 50% of matching, 60% of matching. But when you are using the GST number as a unique, so that time if you find out the supplier GST is matching, it means that supplier is already registered. Why it is? Because that is a unique. Your PAN card number is unique. Whenever there is a something unique, you can make it as a enable the duplicate check. Based on that, system will show you that supplier is already registered. Clear this point? So why it is important duplicate check? Because many organizations struggling for that. That's why they are using SLP. There is a lot of suppliers already duplicate. They want to segregate those suppliers. Their major concern is this one. They don't want multiple suppliers register in their system. They want unique system. They want only one suppliers for something like unique suppliers they want. So this feasibility here, you can use this function, visibility condition, editable condition, we can check later on. So in this way, you can create your own, configure your templates, you can modify your rules, you can add your team members. So after summary, you can review all the questions, and you can complete, click on exit, create to return task. If you want to add some task, like see approval for supply request, I have created approval flow here. So what I did, so supply registration purpose, approval for supply request. This is it is not auto approval, external system approval not required, project approvers, project owner. See approval type, there is a three different type: parallel, serial, custom. Going ahead we will going to discuss, but if you go here and click on this custom, you will find out. So project owner is the approval for these things. Condition all are true. If I want to specify the some conditions, like I want this owner should come, any are true, and it is particularly sub condition. I'll create lookup table for this. Field match for that. So now I want my plant level approval. So I'll select which plant or which department I'll select. If I've selected consulting, then this approver should be added. So in this way we are going to configure our. So what happening, whenever there is a plant is true, whenever owner will come under when there is a plant. If my buyer has been selected the plant, or supplier has selected some plant, then only this owner will become to approval. Otherwise this will not be interfere in an approval process. So I'll check approval groups, lookup tables. I can use different format. You can add group Here you have team member rules. So you have contract buyer, procurement buyer. So these are the groups where you can add your users to approval flow. Or simply you can also add some, I just want my project owner group, and in my project owner I'm the only person, so I can also add myself in that particular. So in this way we are creating approval flows. So this is the something different, unique things you can learn. If you learn in sourcing SLP contracts, it will work for commerce automation, sorry, uh, uh, catalog management also. We have approval process, we have lookup tables also there. So these things we can utilize from here. Once you learn here, you can also repeatedly you are going to learn there. Rank, this will decide predecessor is nothing but earlier task. So we can discuss these things later in detail. So this way we are going to configure our supply request approval process. You can also add new task if you want to create, any additional task like phase to do task. To do task means you are going to assign to someone. Now I have to create a review task. I'll do, I'll go here and I'll create. Okay, one second, I'll go to the document. From here also you can create also task. See, to do approval notification, I want to create a to do task. Who will be the owner, what are his things, what he have to do. Do you want to repeat for each document? I want this predecessor after which task. So I can decide for after the approval this task needs to be start. Automatically this task will be start after that uh, approval task has been complete. Start when dependency complete. Dependency means I have dependency on this task. Once this task has been complete, I'll going to perform my task. So these kind of activity you can add. To do task, you can go and review or approve something, whatever task we have adding here. Notification task, we are sending some notification to particular team member or thing. Also we can add your other team members. If you want to mention your different teams, you don't want to share with along with other team members of your organization, you can make a separate team for that. You can give them access for the document. Condition, right now we have just created one condition, so likewise we can add, create our conditions, questions also for that template. These two things will be majorly used in contracts, huh? This is very important things. If you learn this condition and add question, definitely you will find out something different. Interview will ask you, do you know how to create condition, question based conditions? So this is the important point we are going to learn here. Advanced option, nothing but this is the something like you want something lesson learn, many organization doing some KPIs. They want to understand how, what things you are learn, how many savings you are achieved. So this document is just for the ad hoc reporting purpose. History is nothing but whatever you are doing in that template. See how many times this template has been updated. On 7th of July, some has team, they have changed the team member, they have created this category buyer. If you deleting, editing, creating or updating something, it will record it here. So make sure you are doing something whenever it is required only. So these things are monitoring, these thing has been recorded. So if you are doing something, it will be recorded here. If you want to publish, you can publish. I don't want to publish, so that's why I'm just reverting. So whatever the earlier version, it will showing that, so that I will revert. Going ahead, see, once you learn this template creation for these things like concept wise, so contract concept, SLP concept, sourcing concept, then you will definitely going to crack the interviews. Certification you can give based on these configurations, but you have to practice on template. You have to do your own testing, you have to create your own suppliers, you have to create your own scenario. Then only you can crack the interview. Within this whatever timelines we have, within that timeline you can just focus on templates creating and testing these things. Any additional point you want to understand? Iraj, you want to explain anything or anything I'm missing, you can just let me know. Sana, are you there?
No, Radhesham. Radhesham, I think like
Any
it
point?
was a
Any
very
point I'm
excellent,
missing, or you want?
excellent session. No, no, no. It's a very excellent
Guys,
session. So the overview kind of thing we have done it in a very in-depth fashion. I think most of the participants' queries have been answered in a very right way. And going forward, we'll starting from sourcing tomorrow, right, Radhesham?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So they can have a, they already had a clear overview what's going to be there in as part of the roadmap. So that's really going to be very helpful for them. So today's session was an excellent one. I really appreciate your patience and this one because you have already taken last week as well. So that's going to be a little repeat and in-depth kind of coverage of all the aspects which they feel like it was missing somewhere, okay, according to them. But it is an excellent session today. Yeah. So guys,
Yes.
please speak out if you are having any queries or if you want to, go ahead in a, faster fashion, a little slower, how the speed is, how the presentation. We want your feedback because eventually you guys are going to be the uh, people who are going to learn here. Okay. So going forward, we are going to do all the configurations properly in the system. Okay. Starting from tomorrow with sourcing. Yeah. Anjali, you have any queries?
Not for the moment. Thanks for answering my
Okay.
queries.
Great.
And guys, if you have anything like, I'll just quickly want to integration related configuration I want to show you. Means what we are going to learn into integration also. That point maybe I have missed, but give me 2 minutes. Let me check the document first, and I'll quickly explain you what
Yeah.
things we are
No,
going to learn in that integration things, because that is even important to
for
just one second.
interviews and getting
Yes,
onboarded in the
yes,
project.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
Rabab, you are having any queries specifically?
Yeah,
Anikra?
basically, I wanted to ask one question. So, how many hours will we be spending on the sourcing part, and when we will be going to start the SLP part?
So basically,
Uh,
daily means weekend we are going to our 2 3 hours sessions. So mostly 1 week for one module, like two
So,
sessions.
sourcing part will be covered by tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow, and I think one more session we
one
require
more,
because today
one
we
more.
have
Okay,
almost completed like.
okay, all right. So, from the next week, probably we'll be starting the SLP part.
Yes,
Yes,
like
next week,
Sunday.
Sunday.
All right, got it. Thank you.
But don't worry about that.
Ikra,
If
you
there is some points you want to, we will quickly recap all the points. If you have any doubts, if you have any issues, we can discuss that for at least 10 15 minutes each week, because we don't want to send you like just a half knowledge. We want your answer should your question should be answered from our side.
That would be great,
Yeah,
Radhisham. That would be great. Thank you.
just one second. Let me open.
Ikra, you are having
Um,
any queries?
No, Roja, I'm good at the moment.
Great.
Thank you.
Simriti, you are Madhavan. If any one of you are having, because guys, you see, like one piece of advice I want to give you. So no query is a smaller one, or we should not hesitate to be, what if I'm asking this thing, so what other people will think? Let them think. Okay, they are not going to come and sit beside you to take up your interviews, right? So even a small sort of doubt which you feel like, oh, this is going to be a stupid question. No question is going to be stupid. So we encourage to ask even a smaller questions, and we focus, and we are very committed, as Radhesham said very rightly. We are very committed to make you very well groomed here, okay, and to answer all your queries. So it's nobody will give this kind of chance here, okay. So please avail this opportunity and groom yourself. We are there. Even the server access also we are giving to you. Any issues are coming, our team is going to be there to help you out as well. Okay, so that is a committed thing from our end.
okay, anyone have any issue? I'll start with the how integration will be and what points we are going to learn from these things. So what common activities we have to do for the integration? Before that, you can ask any question if you have, or else we'll start quickly for 10 minutes.
I think
Anyone?
we can start.
Okay, okay. See, basically, backend integrations, we have different set of activities we have to perform. So, like currently, if you see here, we have backend. One second, one point I'm missing. Just one second. Sorry for that. Hmm, I got it. I got it. See, any integration projects have these activity like some. If you want to configure your commerce automation, supply chain collaboration, or your commerce automation, your downstream, if it is there is a CIG. CIG is nothing but your middleware. So that middleware needs to be configured in a three different aspect. Like you have some set of activity in your ERP level, some set of activity on Ariba level, some activity means realm level, some activity needs to be configured on CIG level, some set of configuration on Ariba network. There is a transition rules basically we can call. So that all four level or three levels we can say, then only your integration will be happen. You can use that integration setup. So for that we required some set of activity. These are some common activities for all other any projects. So like add-on installation, once you done, so you can utilize for, if you did for sourcing, you can use for commerce automation these things, because add-on is the common thing for that. Cloud connector is the common things, just needs to be this enablement of CIG from backend cloud integration gateway. I just shown you, but later on I'll explain you in better way. So that how to enable these things, where it is, in which realm environment you are going to see in SAP ERP. One second. Huh? Sorry, sorry.
Hello.
Yes, yes,
Hello.
yes. Sorry, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Sorry.
no problem.
Uh,
That's
you know this this generation like they never listen. Sorry for that. Okay. See,
yeah, yeah. It's okay. No problem. No, it's okay.
so these are some activities which we have to perform, like add-on installation, cloud connector, enablement of CIG, set up global settings. These are common settings for each and every module. If you are doing integration projects, anyone ask you in an interview, you can just simply like you can go through these steps. Once you learn these steps, now I know that you are going to just explain in a simple way. Any interview will never ask you next question, because if you, because this is a simplified steps. It is what needs to be done in setup global settings. So what configuration, this is maintain certificate, RF destination, port definition, logical system, and these configuration, what needs to be configured here, and how we are going to configure, what steps we have to share with which team, and what works needs to be done from them. That all activity we are going to discuss here, because see, anyway there is a teamwork. Like add-on installation is a base system activity, cloud connector again base system activity, CIG enablement is our functional work, set up global settings, either team or any ABAPer can do this activity. So that is your job to tell them what needs to be configured here. For sourcing, what they have to configure, and then either you can create a integration projects into CIG or ABAP team, team, anyone can create a integration projects. Once you understand how, what steps we have to follow, that is your you decide whether you want that step you can be, because once you doing this activity, it means the team is dependent on you. You any in any projects, think one point that you are creating a dependency on you, then only your job will be secure, then you are going to be a perfect consultant for this job. You need to do this activity. Why I'm telling you? Because it is creating a dependency. So you can, once you understand these things, you are creating dependency. So what needs to maintain in general setups? What import data we have to send to automatically to backend, sorry, Ariba Realm. What we have to configure in a like Excel upload, data import export. What configure transition track transitions we have to configure. For sourcing we have different set of transitions. For commerce automation we have different. For catalog management, buying, invoicing we have different. For P2P you have different things. So that transitions how we are going to, for procurement how we are going to configure these things are we have to configure. Cross reference parameter, what is these things? Implement bodies, bapis, there is some customization we required. These things we right now we don't require in any projects. Review configuration, test, and go to the deployment. So that is a end to end scenario for that. But what in betweens, which for which module how we are going to, so this is the commerce automation example. I'll explain you what are the idoc, how what things we have to configure for purchase order, how we are going to do that transition, what transmission medium is that, how conversion will be happening, what is the idoc, what is the cxml, how the conversion will be happening, where it is happening, how we are going to download the payload, how we are understanding the what error in that payload, how these things we are learning here. What is the CIG document name for purchase order in CIG? This question will ask you in any interview. This is a very basic question. Let me know the purchase order. What is the name for that document in CIG? That is called a order request, order confirmation, confirmation request, ship notice request, good receipt, receipt request. What is the IDOC proxy? Where we can going to check? How we are going to identify the error in S4 or backend CRP? Ariba, where we are going to check the SLP related errors in SM admin. In network, how are we going to check that deviation, then approval rules, sorry, transition rules, then transition tracker, how we are going to monitor the errors. Everything we are going to discuss, and what are the steps we have to configure for ship notice. These things it is already there. I'll explain in a very proper manner. I already see these things already in settings, in configuration we have that steps. On fourth steps we have, here we have set up global settings. So what needs to be configured in this setup configurations? We have download cloud connector, purchase order related activity. What is the output message for that? What are the parameters? Purchase order configure, implements it, enhancement, what is that called? How we are going to do that? So these all the configuration we are going to discuss. What is the cross reference parameter for order request, why this is important, each and every aspect we are going to discuss. And you are the functional consultant, you need to just figure out what steps we have to configure, whether my payment remittance is required to my client. If he ask you, you can simply refer this excel sheet and tell them, okay, for payment remittance I have to maintain the parameters, I have to variants of remittance implement, and whatever details is required, if there is something is missing, you can just ask them. So these are the steps for parameters. Invoicing, if you go to the standard document na, you will not find these things, you will confuse to refer that document. I'll tell you how to read that document even in a simple way, how to identify your details in that documents. There is a 650 450 pages of document, but no one know how to read that or how to find my own configuration in that document. So that key points we are going to discuss here. So that is beneficial for your any project. So these are the like steps. Then output types, transition types we will discuss. Even if you are a fresher, you will understand what is NEU, that is the standard document type, how to configure this thing. This guys, this session we are going to make it interactive. Any point of time you can ask any question and we'll resolve your query. If you have any additional knowledge, if you have to share something, even the platform is open for you. You can also tell us. Hello. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Radhisha.
Okay. Anyone have any point or any doubt here? I don't think anything is pending now from uh, basic, technical, functional, template level, group level, user level. We are everything we are going to cover. If you have any still any point, if you want to discuss, you can let me know, because I think this is our second session for introduction purpose only. But going ahead, we are directly starting the sessions. Already some people's I think they have not joined this session, but they already enrolled, and you can connect with Iraj and Sana. If you are pending or if you have any doubt, you can ask me here, any functional point or technical. Iraj, up to you. I think you can continue.
Uh, I think Radhesham, we are good to.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we are good to conclude the session for the day. And for tomorrow, same time, 7:30 p.m. IST, we are going to connect it out. So we have participants from almost around the globe. So guys, I'm making a note here, like announcement, like tomorrow 7:30 will start sharply. Okay, so 7:30 onwards we'll start it with sourcing part. Thank you so much. And if you guys are having any separate queries to ask me, you can connect to me. You have my number, or you can connect with Sana also. Yeah. Madhava, you have any queries? Madhava Reddy?
No, 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 I'm good.
Yeah. Great,
Yeah,
great,
thank
great.
you.
Thank you guys. So we'll conclude the session for the day, and tomorrow we'll meet at around 7:30 p.m. IST. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Raj. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And
Thank you.
thank you
Thank you.
so
Thank
much, Radhekam, for your nice session today. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your efforts and
Thank
patience
you.
here.
Thank you, Iraj. Thank you. Bye. Bye, team.